Hey y'all, your friendly neighborhood bookseller Abby here. I'm doing this video because late last night I did receive an email in our customer service inbox from someone inquiring about what it would be like opening up a bookstore. I have gotten emails like this over the almost 5 years I've been in business. Some people I've had a phone conversation with, other people swapped emails with, some people I never got back to for one reason or another. But nonetheless, this email came in and I really felt impressed upon my heart that it would be helpful to do a video about it. And this is actually something, even prior to getting this email, I had been thinking like, maybe it would be helpful one day for me to put together something that gives some insight to anyone, no matter where you are in the United States of America, who desires to open up their own bookstore, because there's a lot to it than what it may appear to be. And I do know, me being a reader myself, and the reasons why I did it, and how you have to go from like the nostalgia to actually, birthing the idea and all this stuff. It's definitely things to it, and it's a lot more to book selling than what it may seem like from the customer or the author's perspective. So I'm going to read the email, and I'm not going to share the person's name, but it says, "My name is such and such, and I live in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm planning on opening a bookstore in my area, and I have a couple of questions if you're able to help me. First, what size building would be a great size to have? I have an idea of what all I would eventually like to sell within the bookstore and the different categories of books, but I didn't know what would be considered too big or too small of a space. Second, approximately how much funding would I need for this task? I know that space, the number of books, other merchandise, and supplies, among other things, determine this, but I am creating a business plan, so I am looking for a roundabout figure, so when I go for the funds, my plan will be as close to being accurate as possible. I still have a while to go, and I'm not rushing the project, but any information you can provide for me will be beneficial. Thank you in advance." First of all, thank you for reaching out to me. I might be one of several bookstores that this individual contacted, but the email is very well written. Let me answer the first question. You guys, if you don't know already, Shelves is a now online bookstore. When we started, and for the majority of our time, we were pop-up. So for the longest time, we were online and pop-up. I made the decision that as of this year, we are just going to be focusing on the online because of our Reading is a Lifestyle subscription, which is amazing. It's an experience like no other, and we serve book lovers all over the United States of America. So that is why I made that decision, because I love the customized reading experience that we get to give to readers who are a part of our Reading is a Lifestyle subscription. We have never been operating within a physical store. What I mean by that is Shelves has done pop-ups within the building, but we ourselves have never, ever owned and operated inside of a commercial or retail space. There have been offers. I've, of course, thought that that's what our original journey would be, but God had other plans, and I'm so glad that it did not work out for us to be renting or owning a physical brick and mortar, traditional, independently owned bookstore. When I launched Shelves in June of 2019, we launched as a pop-up bookstore at Queen City Grounds Coffee Shop in downtown Charlotte, which is known as Uptown Charlotte, right? It was actually right around the corner from the building I worked in. Right before I quit my job that April, I officially left in June and started Shelves at the end of that month, right? My intention going in, just like this individual, was to own a traditional bookstore. I even resisted selling online because I had my mindset on being a traditional bookstore. You guys know the pandemic started the following March, right? So I had to stop selling in person anyway, like a lot of other bookstores. But God worked it out, and by June of 2020, we became a profitable bookstore. Notice what I said. We launched in June 2019, but we really didn't start becoming profitable until June 2020. I used the profits that we began to earn and I launched our official e-commerce store. We always had shelvesbookstore.com, but shelvesbookstore.com was kind of like a brochure website. You came to learn about our store, but we were not selling on the site. So I took the profits that we started earning as of June 2020 and I invested in launching shelvesbookstore.com as an e-commerce site. And we have been going up ever since. A lot of the things you see us doing now, these things were in my heart off rip, right? I always wanted to launch apparel and I launched our Reading is Freedom. This is our first Reading is Freedom item in August of 2020. I also always wanted to launch what is our Reading is a Lifestyle subscription. And we launched that in February 2021. I've learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes. I had a lot of figuring it out to do, because I went a non-traditional route. Another thing I did not do much of, to be quite honest with you, I did not talk to other bookstore owners. I did reach out to Ada Fitzgerald up at Main Street Books in Davidson, North Carolina, because we are located in Charlotte, for those who don't know. But I never emailed her like I should have, right? Ada and her team have been incredibly helpful to me over the years. She has taught me a couple of things. She has helped me out with orders in my very early stages. I appreciate them. And if you live in the area and you have not been to Main Street Books in Davidson, I would encourage you to check them out. There are a lot of great indie bookstores, and the community is actually a great community, right? Bookstore owners, booksellers, we're a real cool group of people, right? We love books. We love all type of books, or, everybody has their stuff, right? There's specific genres that they love, but we're a cool community. But I cannot give info on what would be a great size building, because I always did pop-ups, which means I partner with a business and use their space. And I will say that no one has ever charged me. No one has ever charged me. Definitely have been organizations, particularly like people who were trying to do those small business markets, that have reached out to me. And I recall only doing one that I paid for. And I realized in the weekend that I did that it wasn't worth it, not for me. And I, made the decision after that not to do that again. And I want to say I did that, yes, in 2019, in the fall, I think, of 2019. And I wouldn't do that again. And that's just me. So I can't recommend what size building for anyone to get. But I will say this, no matter what city or state you are hoping to open your own bookstore in, I would highly recommend that before you sign any lease, before you buy a building, that you start out doing a pop-up for a minimum of 6 months, to make sure that once all the hype goes out the window, when people hear about a new bookstore opening up, which will probably last for all about 2-3 months, that you still have a steady line of customers coming in that want to buy from you. We have to understand, and people don't get this until you get into book selling, that this is not an industry where we set our own prices for the books. We don't. Contrary to what I don't think many people realize, when you're just on the customer side, before you get into it, the publisher set the prices of the books. And it is the retailer that determines whether or not they're going to get a discount. And that's really the only option you have in book selling. No one is really going to buy a book that you try to upcharge. If the publisher says that the book costs $28, the book costs $28. I mean, I'm sure, I'm not going to say might. I know that there are authors out there where people will buy whatever they're selling. So if the book's retail price, list price by the publisher is $28 and you want to mark it up to $35, depending on who that author is, they may have some supporters that's like, I'll pay whatever. But the majority is not like that. As a bookstore owner, as a bookseller, your only option typically is to discount the book. And that does not work for indie bookstores, because we are in the business of selling books. We're not a department store, right? Who just happens to sell books along with a list of 1,000 other products. We sell books. So we need to sell the book for the price that it is to earn the best profit. That's how the mop flops and the cookie crumbles, y'all. So that's just one of the things about book selling. You need to understand that you are not in the market of discounting books. You are in the market of selling the book for the price that the publisher, not you, the publisher put on there. So if they are selling it for $28 or $30, your goal is to sell that book for $30. But you have to consider the fact that there are lots of other retailers, big corporations that, people complain about, but you still shop at. They're selling it for 20% off the moment it comes out. Hey, I'm just telling y'all what I know. Okay, so I can't give any info on building size, but I would recommend, it doesn't matter what city or state you live in, you need to start out as a pop-up. You could take it or leave it, and I would also encourage you to talk with other bookstore owners, right? Including bookstore owners in your city, if there is any. I would talk to other bookstore owners in the city that I'm in. Okay, second question was, how much funding would I need for this task? That's going to vary. There's a lot of assumptions. Before you actually own a bookstore, there's a lot of assumptions we make. As a reader, when you go in, you might think you're going to be reading books all day. You're not. You might think it's just, I'm going to be reading. You're not. You may think that you can have, boxes of a single title. Nope. So that's even a hard question to answer, because you will need to test that out, and you could do that via pop-up. When I first started, I think I had a total of 60 books, and I think I had 3 of each title. So again, a total of 60. And for the titles that I had about 3 copies of each title. Listen, and doing pop-ups, I got to the point toward the end of that part of our journey where I was only doing 1 copy of a title. Hey, I'm just telling y'all what I've learned from my city, my experience, and my time in being a bookstore owner. I would highly recommend that you don't just stop with me, but you talk to other bookstore owners and ask them to give you the real, not just the bookseller, the owner. If you can speak with the owner, there's a lot of realities of bookselling that, when you're on the author side or the reader side, you just don't know. So my recommendations, start out as a pop-up. Do that for a minimum of 6 months. Something else I'll let you guys in on, what is often referred to as the Big 5 publishing houses, are Penguin Random House, Macmillan, Hachette, HarperCollins, and I believe the last one is Scholastic, and that's not in any order. That's just the 5. The wholesaler Ingram Content Group, check them out. I'm just giving y'all game. I'm telling y'all. There is a training institute, though. There is a training institute that I would recommend you check out. I think they're called PAZ, P-A-Z. They are very popular. They actually they have a relationship, I believe, with the American Booksellers Association, which is the trade organization for indie bookstores. I think they're a trade organization. But PAZ, again, I think it's P-A-Z. It's a husband and wife duo. I think they're based out of Florida, where they do a week-long training on what to expect in running a bookstore and the realities of it. Like, no one should be opening a bookstore and all you intend to do off rip is just sell books only. You need to automatically already be planning to sell what is referred to as a sideline item. Maybe that's stationery, maybe that's coffee, maybe that's wine, maybe that's apparel. Something else to balance out the fact that bookselling can get slow, y'all. It can. I'm just telling y'all the what's up with the what's up. You still have to, set up your own accounts. I'm just telling you what is probably, I'm sure, common knowledge. If you Google this, who are the Big 5 publishing? You can Google that, but you still have to set up your own accounts. Each account has its own qualification based on what your needs are. So you still have to reach out to publishers and reach out to Ingram and anybody else you decide to work with, because I'm sure there might be some other ones out there. I'm just telling you what I've learned. So I enjoy it because I've created a community. And that is what I'm gifted to do, to build communities. I'm a reader, and I've built a community of readers through our Reading is a Lifestyle subscription. We are 3 years in the game. We serve book lovers all over the United States of America. It has been a treat, and I know that we are going to go up this year. So if you want to learn more about our bookstore and our subscription, go to shelvesbookstore.com. I will drop it in the description box. Membership for our subscription is currently open. You can choose to receive adult books only, or you can also choose young adults, whatever one you prefer, and you tell us what genres of books you're open to reading or you enjoy reading, right? So I'll put everything in the description box. We're also actually participating in a pre-order campaign for a new book that's coming out in October. I will drop that info for that two-time New York Times bestselling author. So yeah, that's what we have going on. So I hope this video has been very helpful. Ultimately, you need to do your research. You need to, understand how business works in your city, your town, wherever you are. And you need to ask yourself, is it something worth taking from idea to actually doing it? Because no matter what, business is business. Business is business. And one of the things I've also learned is not to take things personal. Do your best, treat people well, give your customers good service, and things will work out. I am a woman of faith. I am a proud, faithful follower of Jesus Christ. And I'm telling you, it is only by the grace of the living God that I have been able to accomplish what we've accomplished in the almost 5 years we've been in business. So I hope this video has been helpful. Take care.